Hello, welcome to the 2022 Fantasy Park Open in Rockingham, Western Australia. Today we've got some feature card coverage of the front 11 holes. Alright, starting our card we have S.Dobbs from Disc Golf Warehouse playing in Intermediate. And then we move on to D.Kynaston, who's playing in the MA50s, definitely a strong force for this competition. And then lastly, we have junior A.Kynaston playing in the Open division, and I'm sure he'll be giving people a run for their money. Alright, first up, this card will be playing hole 3 on the 2022 Fantasy Park 22 hole layout. Alex up first. On this hole, it's a 76 metre par 3. You're looking just to leave it nice and wide, let it swing back in, but not get too far left to give you a death putt back down the hill. Looks like Alex tries to do this, but he leaves it a bit too skinny, but he'll definitely have a putt from there. I believe that was actually a ringer from Alex. And I believe Sean's throwing an envy here. So with this disc choice, it looks like he's going a bit more of a direct line. And yes, he does. He's lasering it straight at the basket, and that hides us out, and that'll give him a nice putt as well. I don't actually know what disc choice this is from Dave, but it looks like he's lining up the hyzer. Yep, there we go. That's nicely thrown, leaving out wide, let it swing back in. Didn't really swing back in as much as I thought it would, but still gives him a decent putt uphill. Probably better than anybody else's position. And Alex just laying up, he just wants to take the 3, move to the next hole, not worry about having a comebacker and taking the bogey, so that's a smart play from Alex. Dave from down the hill, just over the top. A bit low from Sean. I don't think that one quite came out of the hand like he wanted. And again, a bit higher straight onto the band. I'm not sure what happened there. I think there was a bit of a right to left wind on this hole, so from where he was putting from, that would have been a bit of a tailwind. So if he got the nose down, that might have lifted it up into the band. And Dave low as well. Alright, just finishing up here on hole 3. Alex will take the 3, and Sean and Dave will walk away with the 4 after those unfortunate 3 putts. Anyway, on to hole 4. Alright, hole 4 is a 77 metre par 3. This hole gives you a couple of different options. You can take a forehand like it looks like Alex is opting for out to the left and try to get a big skip, or just play like a mid or fairway driver straight through the gap backhand and get a bit of a hyzer finish. It looks like Alex has done that absolutely perfect. That skipped up and put that to about 5 metres. Sean taking that straight backhand line with the gap straight off the tee. He's absolutely pured the gap, but just didn't get enough height on it and taken it into the ground. But there's nothing wrong with that shot. He's still left with an easy par and a possible birdie bid. Dave unfortunately hitting the first tree and kicking left. There are some dog walkers over there, but luckily he avoided them. But now he's got a nice look out on the oval with forehand chip up. And he's actually done that pretty well. He's left it a bit long, so he'll have a comeback putt. Sean just looks like he's just going to take his 3 there. But Dave from about 9 metres straddle. Right in the bucket. Great putt from Dave. Now it looks like Sean will just tap in for the 3. There's absolutely nothing wrong with a 3 on this hole, and a 3 is not going to hurt your scorecard. But Alex has put this extremely close off the tee and got a great look here for birdie, and he cashes it right in there. Nice 2 from Alex. And then Sean and Dave will both take the 3s, and Dave with a great putt to finish off the hole. Alright, on to hole 5. It's a par par 3, 62 metres. Although it's short, it's nasty. It's a super low ceiling tunnel shot with a basket perched up on a hill with drop-offs either side. The most common play that I've seen has been the forehand. Alex executing that great. And he's right up there again for a 5-metre putt for birdie. Sean going the backhand, so he needs excellent height control, and he actually had that pretty well. He just a tad too high, and there's a bit of a branch hanging over there. And Dave, he's done that perfectly as well. So Dave and Alex right up into the circle, having a good look at the two, and then Sean's back here. Let's see if he decides to run it or not. That was a bit of a run from Sean, but he hasn't gone too far past it. Looks like he should be taking his 3. And that is an uncommon miss from Alex. He doesn't usually miss from that range. Alex, when he's on, he's an absolute gun putter. He smashes down every putt he gets faced with. Sean will take his 3, and Dave will have a putt here for 2. And I don't really know what happened to that one out the hand. It looked very vertical, but unfortunately it's gone right over the top, and now he's got a comebacker to save the 3 and leaves that one a bit short. That looked a lot cleaner out the hand, just didn't quite give it enough. Alex will take his 3, and Dave will take his unfortunate 4. Sean will take the easy 3 as well, almost cashing that bid from about 15 metres for the 2. Alright, hole 6, there's a Mando left off the tee. That shouldn't come into play. It's a 115 metre par 3, and this is not easy. You can go right under the tunnel, keeping a low ceiling shot, and try push up the fairway as much as possible. Or you can get a straight to flippy driver and go over the trees to give yourself a look at the birdie. Alex does it quite nicely, flips it over, starts going over the road and brings it right back, and he's about pin high. Sean does this really well as well. He clips one of the first trees but doesn't take much off it, and he's down there as well. Dave going for the forehand, hyzering back towards the road. That gets a big skip, and he is in a great position. Sean opting for the backhand up shot. Not a bad choice from that position, but he's put that nice and close. And I've missed Dave and Alex's up shots, but they were pretty routine jump putts. I missed a couple of shots because I was on crutches and in a moon boot for this event. I couldn't quite get there to film, so I tried as well as I could, but just didn't catch it. But there wasn't much to miss. It was just a routine up shot, and everyone will take the 3. So everyone taking a 3 on that hole, and that's something you don't see too often on the card, because that is probably one of the hardest holes on this course. Alright, hole 7 is a low ceiling par 3, 78 metres. Off the tee, you got to keep it nice and low, and the basket is perched up on top of the hill off to the left. Alex plays for the forehand, trying to get the skip. He gets up the hill, but he'll be left about 12-13 metres off to the right, but he'll have a look for birdie there. Sean going the more traditional play, he goes with the backhand. That was actually a pretty good shot. It just didn't hyzer out fast enough, so he'll be a bit long of the basket. Dave looks to be playing this nicely with a hyzer and a slide up the hill, and he's absolutely parked it. So great shot from Dave. Sean looks like he's lining up a run here. He absolutely has run it. He's just gone over the top, but again, not going too far past it, so he should be able to save that 3. Alex from about 12 metres out, slightly uphill. Clean out the hand, no flutter off the side nubs of the cage, but that'll be a 3, that won't hurt him. Yeah, so Sean and Alex will take their 3s, and then Dave almost under the basket. He'll just be tapping this in for a simple 2. That hole right there is a great example where a good tee shot can still turn into a 4, because if you miss one of your putts, it can fall down the bank of the hill and you'll have a tough uphill putt coming back. So Nothing wrong with the 3 on that, but the 2's a great bonus. Hole 8 is a par 3, 69 metres. Dave going for the highs. He's left that a bit skinny and he's hit a 1 tree in the middle of the fairway. There is OB long on this hole, so speed control is key. Alex doing a very similar thing. I thought he had that wide enough out the hand, but just skimmed the right side of the tree. Sean correcting off both of theirs. That's right over there. That's a great shot from Sean. He's put that a few metres away. And Alex from 20 metres, giving that a bid. Skimming top left chains, but just safe from the OB long. Dave laying up for the 3. Yep. And that's a good 2 from Sean. Alex with a nice smooth routine there. Cashing that for his 3. Puts the hands up. Dave 3 as well. The card averaging under par on this hole. Alright, hole 9 is a 79 metre par 3 to the basket, perched on top of a little mound, which we will see when we get down there. There's OB left on this hole that you need to be wary of, so disc must be finishing to the right if you want to avoid that mistake. Sean, that's came out a bit early and he's gone OB left. Dave with the forehand, this is a Ballista Pro I believe, a bit wide, and looks like that's gone OB as well. So they'll be halfway up the fairway onto the left. There should be a shot from there. And this is Alex with a Piwaka Waka. Nice turning shot. And he skimmed a tree, that slowed him down, but he's right next to the basket. He's parked. Sean opting for another backhand up shot. Sliding that one up to the bottom of the hill. That's a nice shot. Alex likes it as well. I think this is a Justice from Dave. Leaves that a little bit long, but that'll be nice and close to give him putt for the OB bogey save. And unfortunately, he's just missed it right. That's a little bit of an error there. And these comebackers are hard to make after you miss a putt like that. Yeah, and there we go. Sean will take his 4, his OB4, and Alex will be tapping it in for probably one of the easiest 2s of the day on this hole. Definitely not an easy hole, so if you can get this, you will be getting strokes on some people. Dave taking an unfortunate 6 on that hole. Alright, hole 9A, one of the temporary holes added for this tournament. Definitely not easy. OB surrounding everywhere with a really pinched off basket position. This is a 63 metre par 3. Just a nice backhand hyzer for these guys. Alex just laying that up, giving himself a long putt, which is definitely the smart play on this hole. Sean, he's gone a bit more aggressive, and that's it's safe, but it's very close, so he was a bit fortunate with that one there. Dave doing the same to Alex, just laying up, giving themselves bids. Alex a bit right side, but it'll be a nice 3 for him again. Dave over the top, but that's right there as well. Sean was just in bounds. He took his relief, and now he's got a putt for the 2. And over the top, and those copper logs are OB behind the basket, but he's just stayed safe from them. Nice putt from Alex. And this is Sean for his 3. Oh no, unfortunately just getting a dead centre chain out on that. Bit of a fun reaction from his face, but that's really unfortunate. Dave will take his 3, and Sean will take his 4. Alex with the 3 as well. Hole 10, this hole gives you heaps of options. There's a flex forehand, a backhand and hyzer, or you can go Big backhand hyzers over the tree. It's a 99-metre par 3. Not a bad shot from Alex. That was a Z-Raptor from him. Turns it over. Doesn't really come back, but he's down the fairway. Dave going forehand. The wind lifted that one up and went over the trees. Sean going for the forehand as well with a Halo Destroyer. He's left that one high and he's going over the trees like Dave. And they'll be short right, giving them backhand or forehand upshot, whatever they feel more comfortable with. Dave taking it low through the trees, and Sean will probably go backhand. Sean's pretty good at his backhand upshots, as we've seen a few times already. He's gone around the backside and that's executed perfectly. Jump putt from Alex. I'm not sure whether that was a bit or not, but whether it was or not, it wasn't bad. It's in a good spot. He'll be able to take that easy 3. Dave off the band. He'll be tapping that one in for a 4. Sean with a good save with that nice backhand upshot around the back of the trees. Good save from there. Alex will tap in for the 3. And Dave will come past and tap his 4 in. They're probably scores from your average scorecard this tournament. Usually somebody's bound to get a bogey on that hole. It is not easy, and again, one of the hardest holes on the course. This is also one of the hardest holes on the course. This is a 98-metre par 3. There's a low ceiling option off the tee. A lot of people hit that first tree. It is very low ceiling because you are throwing downhill straight off the tee a little bit, but Alex takes it out of play and he goes my favourite line. He just goes out over the top, highs it back in perfectly, so he doesn't have to worry about anything. Sean demonstrating that low line. He's done that pretty well, but still a little bit short. Dave looked like that came out of the hand nicely. It was just a tad low, but they had a good amount of flex on it, and that was going to come back pretty well. But Dave and Sean laying up, putting it under the basket. Here's Alex from about 15 metres, putting with his BT hard shields with his Adam Hammers form, and slams that right in the basket. That's a good confidence booster. Here's the replay on that one. Now Dave and Sean will just tap in for their 3s. Again, the card averaging under par on that hole, and that is not an easy hole, so they'll be happy to walk away with those scores on that one. Hole 12 is a 112-metre par 3. We're back on the longer tee from the first hole that we played. Same basket location. Tee tucked back in the tree line a bit more. Nice gap to hit off the tee. That's going for the forehand. This is my play. Just getting it up there. I don't go for the birdie. I just take the par on this one. Definitely a very, very tough hole, and I've only ever seen a couple of birdies on it. Sean going for the backhand. I think backhand is the more aggressive play on this hole, so if you can control your backhand through the gap and up to the basket, then I think backhand is a good choice. Sean looks like he hits one of the branches pretty early off the tee and drops quite short. Dave going the forehand to hit the gap as well, just like Alex's shot, but that's up even further, so we'll have a nice little chip up there to have a look at the par. Sean with another backhand upshot. I want to say he's about 60 to 70 metres out here. Again, he's got to leave it nice and wide. The wind kept picking up all throughout the day, so the longer you spend out there, the windier it gets. Looks like he's done that quite nicely. Just a little bit short, but I wouldn't be complaining with that shot. Dave with the justice again, sliding that up there. Having a nice look. Alex jump putt. Alex was actually closer than Dave. I thought it was the other way around. But nice little unnecessary roll behind the basket. Don't know, maybe the wind kind of wanted to stand it up a little bit, but that shouldn't be an issue. Sean, just a little bit of an error on that part, but after that tee shot, I don't think 4 is a massive issue. Alex looks pretty happy with his 3, and Dave will convert into a 3 as well. High left side the chains, but that'll work, that'll stay in the basket. And Sean will finish off with his 4. There's Alex waddling back to the next hole, having a bit of fun on this card. Alex finishes the front 11 at 3 under, Sean 3 over, and Dave 5 over. We still have another 11 holes to play, which will be up with coverage shortly. But thanks for watching, and make sure to come back.